Good morning, dear students. Today, let me welcome you to this session of English to the 9th class students. And today, as we have discussed earlier, many things about English 2, like subject verb agreement, correct use of nouns, and many rules and such instructions we understood from the previous chapters. Today we will discuss a very important chapter, that is the correct use of pronouns, because pronoun is another important part of speech. You can say like other what parts of speech, pronoun is also very important, and you may take it as a ocean. And before going to discuss about them and what are there and about their uses, that means the correct uses of pronoun, let us have a little concentration before understanding. Therefore, please sit Siddha and with Dhyan Mudra have Brahmanath. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Relax. Dear students, let me again welcome you to this class. As I have already told you that today's topic is correct use of pronouns. Pronouns, as I have already told, it is a ocean. And we have to try to know something about them which will help us in our day-to-day interactions and in our education. Therefore, before going to tell you, let me introduce what exactly the pronouns are. Okay? For that, let me write something on this board so that you can better understand. When we want to know what exactly the pronouns are, the meaning is over here that some words we can use in place of nouns. So those words can be replaced with nouns, they are called pronouns. And we need these pronouns to stop the replication of the same noun again and again in our text. Therefore, in place of those nouns which we don't want to substitute again and again, we use some other words to replace them. They are called pronouns. For example, let me tell you, suppose when we talk about Ramo. Ramo is a person. It is a singular person. For that, we can use, instead of using Ramo again and again in our text, we can replace this noun with a pronoun that can be he. Similarly, when we want to talk about my friends, which are persons, for them we can use they. So similarly, when we talk about Sita, we can use she. When we talk about computer, we can use it. So these are the nouns. In place of them, we can use these words to stop their replications in our text again and again. Okay, so this is the basic concept, basic understanding of what exactly the pronouns are, which can be replaced with these nouns. So before understanding this, before going to understand more about this pronoun, let me tell you what exactly different types of pronouns we have been using for speaking, for writing, and for our education. Let me write on this board. See, basically, when we think about the pronouns, pronouns are basically grouped under three separate divisions. And we know many of them, and also we will know more about them and their uses, that the correct use of pronouns. How we can correctly use them. So before understanding how we can correctly use the pronouns, let us briefly understand what exactly the different types of pronouns. So here you see, when we talk about different types of pronouns, the first of such type is personal pronouns, which is completely associated with the persons. So therefore it is called personal pronouns. Similarly, some pronouns are called interrogative pronouns. As you know, the word interrogative means asking questions. So some pronouns we use to have questions for more information, they are called interrogative pronouns, which we have discussed in 8th class. So we will discuss something about them along with this class as well. So similarly, there are some other pronouns available in our language. They are called indefinite pronouns. Okay, so these are three different types of pronouns we have, and we use them for speaking, writing, and for our education. So let's discuss. Our discussion today. It will be centered around about the personal pronouns. Okay, so for that, to understand what exactly the personal pronoun and the personal pronouns and how correctly we can use them in our day-to-day interactions, let's understand. For that, let me write a diagram so that you can better understand. Okay? See, when we talk about these personal pronouns, which are related with persons, and you know our persons have been grouped under three different divisions. One is first person, second person, third person. Here, when we talk about first person, we use I and we. Second person, you, he, she, it. The third person. Understand? But before this, let us understand the personal pronouns have been used in four different ways. Personal pronouns are used as subjects, personal pronouns are used as objects, personal pronouns are used as possessives as well as reflexives. Okay, let's understand. Okay, so these four different uses of subject, object, possessive and reflexive. So we can use some pronouns only as a subject, like I, we, you, he, she, it and they can only be used as subjects. Similarly, when we use these personal pronouns as objects, we can use me, us, you, him, them, like such. Similarly, when we use the personal pronouns as possessives, we can use, you see, for I, we can use mine and mine. This is my book. This book is mine. Understand? So similarly, when we use we use objective is us, possessive is our, ours and ourselves. Similarly, when we use you as a subject, we can use you as an object, and for possessive, we can use your, yours and yourselves. Okay, similarly, he is object form is him, possessive is his, and himself is its reflexive. Similarly, she, it doesn't have its objective form, it has its possessive form is its, and reflexive is itself. Similarly, they is the subjective form and them is objective form. That and theirs are possessive forms and themselves or its reflexive form of this personal pronoun. You see, what happens when we are talking about these possessive forms? In these possessive forms, we found here are two such divisions. Two such divisions in the possessive cases of personal pronoun. So what happens? These divisions are very important because one part of this possessive case of this pronoun used as only possessive pronouns and some other parts are used as possessive adjectives. You see why we say it is an adjective? Because when some words are used to modify or enhance the meaning of a noun, after it they are called the adjectives. So here you see, this is my pen. This is my pen, and before this pen we used a possessive case of mine. So mine is functioning as an adjective of this pen. So this is our house. This is not your school. This is his notebook. So you see, after my, our, your, his, her, its, their, we use another noun. So these possessive cases of this personal pronoun are functioning as adjectives. Therefore, they are called possessive adjectives. But when we use other types of possessive cases of the same pronouns, like mine, after mine there is no noun so that it can modify its meaning and function as an adjective. This pen is mine. And after this mine, there is no noun. Therefore, here it is only functioning as a possessive pronoun. It is not functioning as a possessive adjective. But my, our, your, his, her, its, their, they are functioning as possessive adjectives because in every sentence, wherever we are using them, after them there is a noun, which these pronouns are modifying. They are expressing the possessive case as well as modifying the meaning of the noun. Therefore, they are called possessive pronouns. Understand? So, similarly, we have these mine, yours, ours, hers, theirs are used only as a possessive pronoun. But my, our, your, his, her, its, their, they are used as possessive adjectives. These two differences we must often remember so that our speech and our writing will often be 100% correct. Therefore, we should use them correctly. So, today we understand what is personal pronoun and what are those personal pronouns and how they have been used in our speech and writing. We understood they are used as subjects, they are used as objects, they are used as possessives as well as reflexives. I can write this homework myself. You can do this work yourself. That means it is talking about possessive cases. Instead, reflexive cases, reflexive uses of these pronouns. Instead, and while discussing the possessive case also of those pronouns, we understood the possessive cases of pronouns for persons have been grouped under two divisions. One is the possessive adjectives and another is simply possessive nouns. Understand? So today's discussion, we have just had the introduction about the pronouns and different types of pronouns, and while discussing about different types of pronouns, we discussed about the personal pronouns and how these personal pronouns have been used in different ways, like as a subject, object, possessive and reflexive. We also understood while using the possessive cases of pronouns, personal pronouns, they have been grouped under two. One is functioning as a possessive adjective, another is functioning as simply possessive pronoun. Okay, And as far as the correct use of pronouns, there are lot of rules and lot of instructions. We will discuss them one by one and we will clearly understand how we can use the pronouns correctly in our statements, in our speeches, in our expressions, in our writings and writing texts. Therefore, let us understand about them in the next class. In the next class, we will understand such instructions which are responsible or which help us to use pronouns correctly. Today's class is only the introductory class for correct use of pronouns. And next class, we will have more discussions about the correct use of pronouns and the other instructions how we can use them correctly in our writings and in our speeches. And for today, only this much. Next class, we will have more discussions about the correct use of pronouns. Till then, only this much.